Like I say, it's possible that MIT is responsible for creating the ammo that they use in places like Iraq and Kuwait. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, though, I kind of Germany actually probably built the reactor at MIT. It's an older reactor, and it was once a power source. They did produce power, and then it's possible some stupid idiot converted it over to creating ammo or something like that or whatever. Anyway, I don't really know, and I don't really care, because basically they killed themselves and they killed the people around them, pretty much, or permanently damaged them. It's actually a German reactor that's actually at MIT, and it was built a long, long time ago. Anyway, probably some students took it over or something like that and started messing around with it and thought that they had hit the mother lode. Anyway, like I say, there are reactors that have had experienced problems, real problems, and basically, like I say, when there's a radiation leak, basically, those big doors that she presses the button to open, they close, or they lock, so you can't open them. And the reason for that is that the water, the reactive water, or the radiation that's coming off the reactor has already killed everyone in the room. They just don't know it yet. There is no small radiation leak. So anyway, though, if there's any, basically, well, I mean, there's a certain window. That's why we actually do try and get people out a little bit. I mean, they can save their life a little. It depends on the radiation leak and how bad it is. But there are certain circumstances where you have to close the doors and lock those people in there. And like I said, and then you get to watch on the monitors as 20 people die. That's why we. That's why people don't generally. That's why when you go into a reactor, there's only 3 people to a room at one time, in case there is a radiation leak, and then only 3 people die. There have been more that there was a nuclear reactor research complex in Germany. They started all the nuclear radiation research, and they had the most the most the safest reactor for a long, long time. Lots of people will say, "I don't believe this guy," and other people will be like, "Fuck this guy," and it's like, they're young kids that have no idea what's going on. They're young kids that just, lies. You can't lie to radiation. It's a very physical danger. You can't even see it. So anyway, a lot of kids, they think that radiation is this cool thing, or they think it's like it's something that they can play around with or something like that. It's like, no, you can't. You can't touch it. You can't get near it. And if you do, you're dead, or you're going to die. It's always bad. It always affects you. By the time you taste the taste in your mouth, you've been affected. You're being irradiated, and usually after you get that taste, you'll lose your hair or something like that. I forget that we've researched the whole thing, so we know the process and the dangers with radiation. Anyway, even with the shielding, and like I said, the shield walls, they only last 10 or 20 years or 30 years or 150 years. Those shield walls get degraded to where, well, they become radioactive or something like that. The shield wall actually becomes radioactive or something like that. Like eventually the shield wall, I mean, eventually the radiation gets out. Anyway, though, the point though is that for the kids, I mean, a lot of kids are like, oh fuck no, it doesn't really matter. It's all what it's like, and then they die, and then they kill everyone in the room. There have been a lot of people that say, see that guy right there? That guy's Jeffrey. He undid that bolt and opened up that pipe just enough that it caused a coolant leak. He's just killed himself and everyone in that room as the water goes or something like that. Anyway, There have been lots of really bad radiation problems where they undo the wrong pipe, or a pipe bursts and basically floods the whole room with radioactive water. You can't even get near it without dying sometimes. Like, people just walk in and go, they start go, and they're coughing up blood. Anyway, I've seen a lot of people call me bastard. It's like, I mean, I'm not the bastard. I said stay away from it. I said don't mess around with it. Through leaded glass and in containment facilities and cables, we can mess around. And believe it or not, it cuts the cables. 2 or 3 years of messing around with radiation, and the cables literally just, they fall apart. They fall apart. Everything falls apart. That's titanium cable. A titanium cable, and it just falls apart. Radiation is very bad. I advised everyone to just go hydropower. Not even mess around with radiation. People thought it was like some sort of cool substance or something that they can use or mess around with or harness. And it's like, not really. It's always dangerous. It's always bad. You can do small scale research and stuff like that, but anything big, and it's just too damn dangerous. Like, there are radiation sources that would kill a whole valley. Like, once you uncork them, it's beautiful. It's like that. I mean, I don't know how many times I've had to read or had to find out about people that were messing around with radiation and then died. Or how many reactors, it was fine for 20 years. And then one day, it just always, just one day, and then, nah. They give the alert so people could run out of the room before the doors close and seal the compartment and all that. We try to save them. And that's also why there's a double airlock too. And there's all kinds of safety procedures. Anyway, we try not to lock them in there, but sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you have to watch them all die. Anyway. And then whose fault is it really? Whose fault? Somebody like Jeffrey or somebody, they just undid one bolt. Or forgot one little thing. Maybe it's a Monday. Maybe they're not thinking. But what about everybody else in the room? 20 people die. 100 people die. 1,000 people die. And even then, there's nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do? Anyway, though, that's why I tell everyone to stay away from reactors. To not mess around with them. There's always particles that are escaping the shield wall. About 10%, in fact. No matter what, there's no shield that is 100% effective. There's always 10% or 30% that isn't being stopped by the shield wall. So, and that's another reason why people don't hang around reactors. Because they're dangerous. They're always dangerous. There is no safe nuclear reactor. Even the sun. It's slowly killing us. A little bit. But it's within norms. If the Earth stopped moving, we'd all die. Literally. If you took the Earth and just went... everybody on the sun side would die. Or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but even the sun is incredibly dangerous. You're not. That's why nobody goes near it. It's just too dangerous. Anyway, it creates particles and it creates matter and it creates the planets around us, which is why we have it. But it's not to be played around with. Anyway, though, like I say, I'm Lucifer Star. I'm the epic creator. I'm the one who invented that star, and everything else. So, anyway, yeah. Now I'm retired, just chilling. So, anyway, but yeah, and saying don't go near radiation, dude. Don't do it. Just say no. Don't mess around with it. No, you can mess around with it with leaded glass and cameras and all kinds of stuff and cables.